I hear you whining, and I do not turn away. Have you noticed that when someone complains, your first impulse is to run? As if their pain were contagious, but if you stayed, maybe you wouldn't hear them at all. Maybe you'd hear yourself. In the previous revelation, we reached the edge where whining stops being noise and becomes silence in which you simply exist. But silence is not the ending. Silence is a door, and at every door there is a choice to pass through alone or to hold it open for another. There is a special kind of whining, not yours. It comes from beside you. You don't expect it. You're busy with your own life, and suddenly someone begins, "I'm exhausted, I can't take it, I'm carrying everything alone." And you automatically want to say, "Everyone has it tough right now." Shut it down. Let me tell you how I cope. Steal the spotlight. Do you know who really suffered? That guy, a hero. Shame them. But then you freeze and realize you've said these very words to yourself, and they didn't heal. They only covered the crack in the wall with a band-aid. The first form of compassion is to stay. You stay, you don't fix, don't train, don't inspire. You just breathe next to them, you become background, and it's this background that makes another's whining bearable. Sometimes you nod, sometimes you whisper, "I know, I've been there. If you want, I'll sit. If you don't want, I'll still sit." For this is how it goes. Someone writes in chat, "Why is everyone so happy and I'm here stuck to the radiator?" And you don't put a smiley, you put a pause. Another sighs, "No one needs me. Even the fridge doesn't beep when I open it." And you don't laugh. You know, inside that silence of the fridge lies the sorrow of the universe. The fridge doesn't beep, but the heart of the complainer beeps for two. A friend says, "I'm like a dead vacuum cleaner. I hum, but nothing gets done." And you don't offer a productivity checklist. You say, "You are my favorite vacuum. Let's cry in the kitchen together." Another's complaint is a mirror of your pain, a funhouse mirror, warped and crooked. It makes you look stretched, ridiculous. But still, it's you. You suddenly realize it's not them whining. It's you, yesterday, in another shirt, in another room. They are just your loudspeaker. Church practice number 8. Listening to whining without rescuing. It's not about being supportive. It's about not stealing someone else's pain by replacing it with your advice. Not sliding in your stories. Not competing over whose suffering is worse. Not dragging them by the ear into the light. Just being near, like a blanket, like a kettle that takes its time to boil, like an eye in which you can drown and not choke, like the pause button on the remote of the universe. You did not become a saint. You didn't even become a therapist. You simply became a listener. And that alone is enough for people near you to stop fearing their own weakness. You became the one with whom they can unfold their crumpled note of sorrow and not hear in response, "Pull yourself together, loser." You are the pause where trust is born. If you are not whining today, it doesn't mean you're better. It only means you're on pause. While someone else is in the middle of a sentence that begins with the words, "It hurts." And your silence can be the loudest, "I am here. Speak." But every complaint also has its music, its rhythm, its broken strings. For sometimes a complaint is not a voice at all, but an echo of what has gone unspoken for years. It is coming. The symphony of complaint. Tune your ears and your armpits, because it is there, in the folds of body and soul, that we most often hide the tears we were ashamed to shed. In the next revelation, we will hear how complaint sounds when it stops being words. This will be the first choir of the church, from household blues to the national opera of whining. For complaint is also music. Amen. And if someone whines, listen. Perhaps it is the first time they dared to sound. And dramatic goodbye, fading like the last echo of a sigh that didn't want to be heard, but finally was. May the source of majestic sorrow teach you the sacred art of listening. May he whose name is hidden in a sigh make your silence a safe pause for another's weakness. And may every complaint you hear echo as your own forgotten prayer, now and forevermore. Amen.